What's up, guys? It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and we're here for episode 12 of Painkiller already. And we got everybody's favorite auto-tune junkie. Who we got today?
It's Chris Smoove.
Hey, Chris. Chris, man, you made me nervous. I had to hunt you down. I think I sent probably 5 YouTube messages, and I got 2 replies, including one that's like 30 minutes ago. It's like, you had me on edge.
I know. I see you freaking out, and I'm like, I should have just been communicating more. But I did tell you though, 2 days ago, I was like, I'm definitely gonna be there, so don't worry. But I understand why you were going crazy because you don't want to miss a show.
I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're here. Oh, I want to call out. So I switched mics, and people should know as we listen to this. Kyle got a new computer, and I'm using a better mic than I had used before. But it might take a podcast or 2 for me to really get it dialed in. So bear with me if this thing's not better than it used to be. And if Kyle's is wrong, then we're going to get better. New equipment.
All right.
So, I got a question. I got an opening topic.
Bring it.
How are these YouTube commentators getting hacked? Because I'm looking at these people losing their accounts, losing everything, having to start all over. I understand how Thunder Toro did. I understand his situation and plight. But I'm the most hated commentator on YouTube, and I've never been hacked.
I know how it happens.
Do you really want to open the door to this?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. The hackers love me. So on Pwnstar for Hire, I talked to him about it, and they put a keystroke logger on his machine, and then they got both his YouTube password and his email account password. So with that, they changed them both, and then when he went to YouTube and said, hey, my account's been stolen, they're like, well, you know, if you forgot your password, we'll send you a new one and work it out. He's like, well, I don't have the email account that's associated with my YouTube account. And they're like, well, now you're out of luck. And that stinks.
Did he tell you how he got a keylogger put on his machine?
No, he said that he may have run some software that came from an email, but like even that, I don't think that he had like full confidence that, you know, where it came from.
Well, see, that's, you know, that kind of...
What was that, Chris?
I don't know what happened to him. But, all right, Chris, go ahead.
Done a new move. Opening an email, not updating his Windows 7 or whatever he's running with. It's the only explanation.
Yeah, but you know,
maybe he had like a simple password. Like,
it's tough if people are gunning for you though. Like, look, I work with computers, but it doesn't mean I'm completely immune to every new move ever. I mean, I'm on this thing all day and day. You know? Hey, Kyle, what were you gonna say?
Oh,
that's the reason I got a new computer. Someone put a keylogger on my computer, and it was like several different things when I ran the scan, and it like basically it just destroyed the computer. I could probably get it fixed, but I wanted to do one anyway. But I won't download anything mysterious anymore. That's for damn sure.
My iTunes account was hacked. Like I checked it today, and yeah. So like my daughter got a new iPod. We got her an iPod Touch for her birthday. And so it's like, all right, you know, little iTunes receipts roll in or something. Or I never noticed. I'm not sure if I even got the receipts for the bad ones. But I looked at the iTunes receipt today, and there's, you know, a 99-cent song, whatever. You know, she's a straight-A student. We let her get away with crap like that. And then there's this $42, like, GPS software that helps you navigate the streets of Australia. And I'm like, what the? So I immediately get on the phone, and I'm like, honey, did you download, like, you know, Australia Nav or whatever it was called? And she hadn't. So I called Apple and then called my credit card company and got all that stuff locked down. Now our primary credit card is, you know, disabled now. And we're going to get new ones in the mail. And I wonder, you know, is it the same group of hackers that haunt me for some unknown reason on my darn Sharing Gamertag site, or what? I'm not sure. But you know, you get in the public eye, even though, you know, YouTube channels are a pretty limited version of the public eye, and people hunt you. Yay.
Yeah,
I don't
know why people do that.
Maybe this is why I never get hacked. I'm too lazy to read emails or download shit.
And speaking of that, that's actually a good topic. I wanted to ask you guys, do you actually read all the inbox messages that you get from your subscribers?
Oh, my God. I'm reading them right now.
Yeah.
I'm reading them right now. It's so funny that you said that.
I read 100% of the messages that come to my YouTube account, and I reply to just about everybody, and I used to reply to everybody, and now if they don't ask for anything, I reply. If it follows the, I've talked about it before. If it follows the format of, hey Woody, I really like your channel. This is what I want. I want you to play with me. I want you to put a video on your channel. I want to shout out. That's when I give myself permission not to reply anymore. So if I feel like they're using me, then I don't always reply.
I read about 80%, respond to about 10.
I mean, that's still high. I mean, that means you're replying to 5 or 6 messages a day. I mean,
yeah.
I reply.
Not so much for me, because actually,
I know you don't. I respond. I asked you for a dual com a long time ago. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna jump this. Motherfucker didn't respond back.
Yeah, I remember the way I was introduced to your videos, Chris, is some guy had actually stolen one of your videos and uploaded it as his own, and I was like trying to track down who actually owned the video to let him know, and that's how I actually found your channel. The guy had uploaded some like Modern Warfare 2 gameplay of yours, and he was like, "Yeah, it's mine. I just started. Aren't I good?" I was like, "Yeah, you are really good. Is your name Chris Smoove?" Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, I give respect to y'all for being able to do that, because it was easy at first when I had maybe like 100 messages. But I remember this one day I was reading some inbox messages, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna finish this tomorrow. I come back the next day and it ballooned up to like 500, and I'm like, what? Overnight? That's crazy. And the next day it was like 700, and
like. It was about
next day it's like mass delete.
About 2 podcasts ago, I mentioned that a lot of the messages I get are in this format. Hey Woody, love your channel. This is what I want from you. And in a response to that, I must have received, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 messages saying, "Hey Woody, I love your stuff. Just want you to know I don't want anything from you." And
except to waste your time.
I replied to all of them, every single one. And it took hours and hours. So if you guys are watching this, look, I love you too. You don't have to write. It's okay. I appreciate the kind words.
You know what they should do is write you letters to your home. Why don't you give it your address?
Hey,
yeah.
Dude,
do you guys get this?
Let me interrupt you. For the charity drive, I did get some letters because the charity drive had my address in it, and some of the donations that went to the March of Dimes, they had letters that went along with them, and some of them were really charming. I keep them in my cube at work. Like, people had nice things to say. So.
Anybody else have this yet to you? Happen to you? Or send
I have. And they send you a message from it like, "Hey, buddy, look what I did."
See, I don't like this kind of stuff because this guy responds and people think it's me, and then I get hate mail from it.
So let me let people know what's happening. What happened is Wings of Redemption put a URL in the Skype, and as far as I can tell, it looks exactly like his channel. And there must be a typo in Wings of Redemption, but I'm not finding it yet.
Yeah, it's
the first I is L.
The first I is an L. Okay.
And the last, the I's are L's.
Yeah. So the I in Wing and the I in Shun, Tion, are both actually L's. And even though I knew there was a typo because Wing sort of hinted at it, I didn't see it. So people have imitated his YouTube account, and now they can reply as him, and it looks like him at first. So FPS Russia has a bunch of those.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because I'll have machinima saying, "Why'd you say this?" and "Why'd you say that?" and it's like, I didn't do that.
I have. You know how you can mod your gamer tag?
So my God, yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people say, "Hey, I played with you, but it wasn't actually me." Or why didn't you talk to me? And if you catch me in a lobby, I almost always talk to people. They'll be like, "Oh my God, it's Woody's gamer tag." I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? How are you?" But if it's not me, oftentimes they sit there and pretend they can't hear you. And people are like, "Why'd you diss me?" I'm like, "Dude, that wasn't me. I don't do that." So,
see, I'm the other way around. If I talk to you, it might not be me.
Let me just say this. If you see a Wings of Redemption out there and he's nice, polite, and he talks to you, That's not Wings
him.
Redemption.
No. Wings are, they'll be like, hey, it's Wings of Redemption. I love your videos. Leave, kid. Get out of here. I don't want fanboys in my lobby. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Take your fucking stinger off.
When you speak to them, Woody, do they bother you or do they actually help you in the game? Like, are they constantly asking you questions or are they actually playing with you and saying, okay, I'm going over here, I'm doing this?
For the most
How does
part,
that?
I usually have a full lobby when I play, so they always end up on the other team. And usually we'll play against them for a game or two, and then, I don't know how to say this humbly, but when I play with my friends, the games are really lopsided almost every time. So they'll play with us a round or two, and then they'll find a new lobby. That's how it goes down. But in the lobby itself, they'll just want to say hello or ask me what's something or tell me that they like my videos. They're usually nice.
Yeah.
See, that ain't how it goes down with me. That ain't how
Oh my
it goes down with me.
We were playing the other night, me and Wings and Jaws and a couple other guys, and there's this guy in the lobby, and his gamer tag is BT fan, which is Blame Truth fan.
Right.
And he hates Wings. He's like, I'm shooting every piece of shit you put in the air, motherfucker. And sure enough,
I hate those
ran around with
guys.
stingers the whole game. Like, I got a hair, and I held on to it. I was like, I'm going to wait for Wings to call his in, then I'm calling mine. Maybe he'll shoot down. Maybe he'll miss Wings once, and then shoot again and take it out, and then mine will get a few kills. Like, it was pointless.
That's why I got to use the AC-130 because a lot of times it's like you can't even get a kill. But if you have the AC-130, even if they're shooting at you, you can still get off about 6. So that's better than
And
the chopper gunner not
AC-130
even making it to the map.
Sometimes I feel like I can defend myself in the AC-130. There's a guy who's firing stingers. I can kill him once or twice before he gets a third off.
Yeah,
Whereas-
especially on a map like Wasteland where they'll just spawn on top of each other over and over, and you can just hit them with the 105 millimeter and just take out 4 guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the chopper gunner, sometimes, boom, they blindside me and it's done.
Yeah, see,
But how do they even do that? How do they shoot it down before it actually gets to the map? Because I
They
would
run
like
a
to do
stinger
that.
secondary.
lots of practice.
Yeah, a lot of guys on Xbox run a stinger. Oh, so, all right, gosh. I was even walking around work today thinking, if anyone brings up PS3 versus Xbox, I am going to shut it down because it's a prohibited topic. But I think what happened was because the care package glitch was so bad on the Xbox that the two communities kind of evolved differently and became really air power sensitive on the Xbox, whereas the PS3, the care package glitch wasn't quite as severe. And a sub actually gave me this theory, smart guy, and it makes total sense to me. Like, I think people got trained to attack air power really quickly because of the care package.
Definitely.
But,
But I really don't think that there's much of a difference.
Really?
Because Wings, when he was playing on PS3, he's doing the same things now on the Xbox. I mean, his air support might be getting shot down quicker, but he's still finding a lot of noobs out there.
You see in the highlights, dude. I don't post the games up where I get the the Harrier, the Pablo, the chopper gunner, and they're all gone before I get a kill.
They're all
Yep.
Yeah. In my head, I've kind of readjusted the Harrier just to think of it as an airstrike. That's what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah,
we guys forget about talking about that one guy. When you get the fanboy in the lobby that loves you so much, he just won't leave, and he just puts cold-blooded on his stinger, and then he just stays in the game. Come on, you don't have those? I get those.
Yeah, I get those too, but I don't know. It's like they're on a mission. They don't want you to do anything in the sky. It's like,
See, I'm
Crazy.
usually playing to win, and not so much to like. I like YouTube games, and when I get off to a really good start, that is in my head. But if they shoot down my Harrier, whatever, just get back at it and focus on the map
I'm
control.
going the
recently
same
I
way
just
as
been
you,
using
Woody.
the E-Drop.
I've noticed that, Wings. There's been a at least in your videos, and heck, we play together, right? And I see it there too. That you focused more on the objective and locking down wins than you used to. You used to really focus on KD.
I've gotten to the point where I know I can hold the 3 KD standing up there, and even if my KD does slip, I just go to the KD clinic called Free For All.
Yep.
I was about to interrupt you. You could hold a better KD than 3, I bet, if you played Free For All exclusively.
Oh, 5, 6 easy. if I played it exclusively. Every game's 30 and 3 and free for all.
On the other hand, like demo is one of the modes I have the hardest time getting high KDs because
That's the one I like the most.
Really, if I'm a bomb planner and diffuser and I really focus on winning, then that hurts my KD, man. You know, trying to plan on that is dangerous, and oftentimes even if you succeed in the plan, you're dead soon afterwards.
I've been watching a lot of Socrates lately, and one thing I've noticed he does that I'm trying to integrate into my own game. This is pro tips, guys. Get your pen and paper ready.
Let's hear.
All right. I've been trying to integrate in a game. What I'm working on currently, improving my Call of Duty game, is not to reload prematurely.
Mm-hmm. That's an adjustment I've made recently. I even had people comment on some of my videos, like, you never reload. In the one, like that, the Bon Jovi one, I reload pretty rarely. And I used to reload every kill. And now,
yeah, same.
You know, I can at least get 2 kills to a clip, and sometimes 3. I reload when there's a good time to reload.
I started noticing in my game, like, for example, Trailer Park the other night, I had an ACR, and I shot a guy, and I go instantly reload and back off. When there was like 2 other guys on the screen. I should have tried to get them all, then reload. I ended up dying on the reload anyway.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I'm improving on in my own game is sprinting less and almost never sprinting indoors. You know, I've known that for a while, but it wasn't second nature. And now I just have an easier time walking around instead of sprinting around than I used to. It's helped me a lot.
Have we touched on the people jumping in spawns yet?
Do not bring up names.
No, we're not bringing up names, but
one friend of mine says that he gets like tons of comments for like, you know, oh, you ruined Woody's spawn trap.
I just want to go ahead and address it. That, you know, that's bad. That's a sign of a bad player. You're not a good player if you can jump into a spawn after we've already secured an area and put them down. I had an instance last night. We were playing Ground War on Strike, and these guys would constantly run to their spawn and flip them to the flower shop. I'm using a sniper on 2 sensitivity, so I don't want that spawn to flip. You know, I got a hard scope on 2 sensitivity. You can't do nothing but hard scope on 2 sensitivity, and it was making me mad.
Kill on 2 sensitivity.
Yeah, you know,
someone's on your right field of vision, you can't even aim at them.
Oh.
Yep. Depending on how things go, So look, if everyone's just sort of goofing around and there's no teamwork, then I guess you can run into a spawn. You know, that you're just doing your thing. But a lot of times I play with a team, and it can feel like an act of selfishness for like one guy to decide he gets to, you know, jump in the Scrooge McDuck of easy kills in the spawn until it's ruined. That little swimming in the vault of money analogy popped into my head. But yeah, you know, you get to jump in there. They you know, they're all over you. You get like a 4-piece on your spaz or a 5-piece before you die. And but you know, that's selfish because everyone else is the one that worked to make that happen, to make them lock in there. And when you run in there and just like tromp all over the new snow until it's ruined and they spawn somewhere else, that's not fair.
Yeah, I hate that. Like Karachi. If you're playing on Karachi and they take C, you want to keep them on C because that's going to be
that's a great example.
Game.
Yep. If you own the rooftops,
I hate it when they
take
C.
When they take C. Oh, right. Yeah, you said it right. You said it right. I was thinking it backwards. Yeah, if you own the rooftops and the street to the left by that big white truck, then you can lock them in C on Karachi Dam. Bad. And you know, one guy has to run in there and take C and run in the back behind that building. They'll come to you. Just wait.
Exactly.
They're only
people don't know how to play the game. They don't know how to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
So, you know, and I think it helps that I have a grown-up voice. But a lot of times, even if I'm with randoms, I can organize them, and say, all right, someone take the roof, grab the street, let's lock in the spawn. And people cooperate more often than you might guess. Although, I will say to like our 13-year-old listeners out there, it probably won't work as well for them yet.
Yeah, Hutch is always talking about trying to push the Call of Duty community objective, which I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to push the Call of Duty community for a more level-headed understanding. For example, anybody here watch my competitive TDM game?
I love that, the Trailer Park one, right?
Yeah.
I actually brought that up. I was in Sandy Ravage's live stream just recently, and someone called you a camper, and I'm like, dude, check out this video. It's great.
Yeah, but that's a perfect example of how, you're doing bad, so why do you keep doing what you're doing? We had a guy on our team named Ice Cream Head,
Mm-hmm.
And
you were a party of 5 with a random, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Ice Cream Head wasn't very good of a player. He was like a 6 prestige. Maybe he's having an off game. I don't know. But whatever he's doing that game wasn't working for him, so he continued to do it. How can we stop people from doing that?
That's what broke my 80-game win streak. Remember, I think we might have talked about that on the podcast before. That one guy on Scrapyard who kept sprinting into the middle and dying. And we lost TDM, 7,500 to 7,400, and this guy was like -14, and he would not stop sprinting into the middle.
But Ice Cream has a perfect example of doing everything wrong. He was running into spawns. He was running blindly into corners. He was sprinting in trailers. I mean, I think his first death on the screen, he runs right through the blue trailer head on in a sprint. I mean, the little green trailer. You know you're going to get killed there. You know there's guys going to be coming up straight at the middle of the map.
Yeah.
So you sprint there?
So he's one of the Painkiller alreadys.
Yeah. People don't know where that came
30
from.
seconds into the game, he's got Painkiller.
Yeah, I was telling Chris. So we were doing game battles tryouts, and Wings and I weren't used to playing with guys as good as the ones that tried out for the game battles team. And not to say that we never played with good players before, but we were rolling in parties with some beasts. And, we're like slowly advancing map control. 20, 30 seconds into the game, the first person we see already had Painkiller. And it happened again and again and again. We were like, Painkiller already? It's the first guy I've seen it. He's on, is it a 3 or a 4 death streak? I think it's a 4.
That's what I thought of.
Man, guys got Painkiller like 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Like, instantly, they
But how
always
do you
have
do that?
Painkiller. It was, oh my gosh, we saw it so much. And then Preyas, I don't know if you guys know Preyas. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he's a friend with a lot of YouTube people, so you see him up there. He would run into a spawn with like a Kimbo Glocks, and they would go sprinting. Like 5 people would sprint in the opposite direction, like they were deer. Like they just wanted no part. Get the hell out of here! It's Preyas.
But what I want to know is, how do people with Painkiller get to you? Because they're not even using Marathon and Lightweight, and they're getting all up into your space. It's like whenever I get Painkiller, I never see anybody. I wish I could.
Yeah, I get Painkiller, and unless I'm doing the Marathon, like sometimes when I run Cap the Flag, then it's like, oh, I have Painkiller. This is great. I'm going to use it to my advantage. It makes some mad progress. But in every other game mode, it seems like even if I hurry up, it's gone before I get an opponent to shoot. But on the
Play some free-for-all.
Oh, I bet you're right. Yeah, I often defend the Modern Warfare 2 spawns because once you understand like the high-level concepts, there's an affinity towards the flag they own in bomb, the bombs that they're defending in Sabo, etc., and then these are where the spawns are, and they're going to be spawning from there. But once you get that and understand that if you stand next to where they're going to spawn, then you're putting yourself at risk, and of course they're going to spawn next to you. The whole spawn system isn't as bad once you understand it, except free-for-all. In free-for-all, people are going to spawn right next to you, right behind you. It's rough.
With
Free-for-all
Painkiller.
is tricky.
Yeah,
It is really tricky.
you're not going to go
If you-
without you're not going to go without a cheap death in free-for-all unless it's a lucky game.
If you can get off to a good start, you can easily dominate. But if you get a bad kill or two, you might just get killed the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how people do it so consistently. I don't know how they avoid all of those deaths.
Scrapyard's a particularly
Do it.
good example.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's going to spawn, right next to you inside of like some tube where you don't even have a chance to see them, and you're done.
I was going to say Scrapyard and Terminal are 2 maps I just leave the game on, generally. That's why you haven't seen
Scrapyard?
free-for-all attack on them.
I meant to say Salvage, the one in the first map pack.
Oh,
the snowy
salvage
one.
is easy. Just stand on that little snowcat in the back of the house.
I find on the left in particular, there's 2 or 3 spawns in that concrete pipe area, and it's dangerous, man. They're going to spawn right next to you behind you.
You stand on that snowcat, there's a guy that's going to spawn in that doorway to the left of you about every 2 seconds. Just pop it when he comes out.
I will
Rust
say
is
this,
another
Wings. I was playing free-for-all in Afghan the other night, and I actually got up on that rock back where B Demolition is, and that's a rape spot. I think I went like 30 and 2, AC 130, just super easy. That's a great spot.
Which map? By B-Dom?
On Afghan.
Yeah, I think I showed you that one, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, you've made a video of it before, too, and I watched those videos. Speaking of your videos, let me just throw this out there. You put up a machinima video a couple days ago, and it's a Modern Warfare 2 TDM on Crash, and that is one of the most hated videos I've ever seen for no apparent reason whatsoever. Even Hutch had to jump in there and be like, all right, whoa, that's enough. It reminded me of like it would be like if like there was a bunch of Nazis like just beating down a Jew, and all of a sudden like Hitler's like, whoa guys, hang on a minute.
We could use him for altitude testing.
You just went entirely too far right there. Why didn't you poke his eye out? Dear God.
Did you just compare Hutch to Hitler?
All right, I didn't mean it that way. I was just...
Cold Oak, I was going 4,000 pounds of hate mail.
I absolutely did not mean it like that. I love Hutch. Hutch is my buddy.
Nice. Hey, I have a topic. Oh, you know what? I have this. So, this one, for Nova Productions, quick shout out. He made me a new intro, and as payment, all he asked was that we cover this one topic. And there's a special rule in there for Kyle. What would you do if you had 24 hours to live? And the Kyle rule is no sex. So you have to find something to do other than phone every woman you know.
All right. Let me start off, because this was brought up the other night, because Thunder Tour was talking about how in his job as a fireman, they get a lot of suicides, and oftentimes it's people who are terminal. You know, they don't have much more time to go. Mm-hmm. And we were saying it's just like that. I think it's a Tim McGraw song, and it's called Live Like You Were Dying. And it's about a guy who's diagnosed with cancer, and he's like, you know, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I rode a bull and all this stuff. And that's exactly right. Like if I've got 24 hours to live, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm going to spend as much of my money as I can. I'm going to give a lot. I'm like throwing it in the streets and watch people dance. None of it will go to charities. It will all go to like selfish things. I want a statue built of me somewhere, kind of like the one in Philadelphia of Rocky. You know, there really is no Rocky, but I mean, there really is no me. So make a statue of me. Why not? It'd just be like me smiling with a controller in my hand, like, yeah, bitches. And
oh, noobs. Big cartoon bubble.
I'd go skydiving. I'd definitely go skydiving. And I'd want to be skydiving with a gun in my hand, shooting at shit as I fell. And yeah, that's about it. Because I sound like such a cocksucker saying this, but like I've done a lot of really cool shit.
He's gonna spend his last 3.5 hours in jail.
Oh no! Oh, they'll never take me alive. That's why it's see this what this really is what I'm gonna do with my last.
Come on, Kyle, don't do it. You taking my hours. Take mine.
All right, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you're taking my shit when you're talking about the cops not taking you.
Oh yeah. So,
I'm going out with my boots on. That's
it's my last 20 hours because after 20 hours of me having fun, they're taking me down.
I'm talking about taking every gun I own, converting them to fully automatic, loading up on clips, sewing some Kevlar together, and shoot up a mall.
Oh wow!
Nice. Mine is
a
weak
terrorist,
in comparison to yours. Like I gave it a little thought, right? Because I had this question in advance, and it was like, what means most to me is the relationships with the people I love, and you know, he didn't specify whether like the world ends and you know we're all gone, or whether it's just me who goes. So if the world ends, then we spend all day just doing things with the ones I love. I think I'd take my son to the lake. We'd look at the turtles that swim. He loves that. I'd spend some time with my daughter, bake a cake. I don't know, but things of that nature. And if it's just me dying, I'd spend some time getting everyone set up. You know, financial records. This is where the money is. This is the life insurance, etc. So,
see, Woody, that route right there will get you crying too much.
You
know, at one point of the day, you're just going to be like, well, you realize what you're doing.
I had some distracting activities that would help. But yeah, you know, it'd be a rough day, the last one.
No, here's what you do, Woody. Mm-hmm. Give me all that financial information. I'll hold on to it, take care of it when that happens, and then you can enjoy your 24 hours.
I'm a little nervous about giving you all my financial
Just send it over Skype. It's no big deal. Just send it right now. Just safe deposit. You can mail me the key, whatever.
Kyle will use MS Paint to sign his name to the...
Chris, you have 24 hours. What do you got?
24 hours would be pretty simple. I'd probably play some basketball, go to the beach, but then I'd probably end it within the last hour. I'd try to rob a bank or something, do something crazy at the end, and I wouldn't have to look back on it. I wouldn't have to pay the consequences. It's pretty much what I would do. I would just keep it simple.
All right.
24 hours, just one good day.
So I'm on Reddit.com sometimes, And there's a section called Ask Me Anything. And a lot of them are fakes, but one that I kind of believed in was a bank robber wrote on there. And the first time he robbed a bank, he got away with it, told us how he did it. And the second time he robbed a bank, he didn't, and got busted. It was pretty cool. He planned it out really well. He walked in there, he had 2 layers of clothes on and 2 plastic bags, and he handed a note to the teller because he got arrested for shoplifting, and while he was in jail, he learned how to rob banks. And one of the things he learned was that their policy is just to hand over money. And he also learned don't use a gun because you don't need a gun to rob a bank. They'll hand over money willingly. And if you get caught, then the punishment's much more severe. If you have a gun or pretend to have a gun, the punishment is the same. So he walked in there. He handed them a firmly worded note saying, give me all the money. Give me $5,000 he asked for. And don't say a word. And that he was serious. So she gave him $1,500. And he's like, where's the rest? And she's like, that's all there is here. So he says, okay. He put the $1,500 in, what did he do? I think he put the $1,500 in one of the clear grocery bags. And then he walked. He had figured out like his escape route. So he walked out of the bank sort of casually. He had cut a hole in a fence like the night before. And he walked through the hole in the fence. He put his other clothes in the other plastic bag. So now he stripped off a layer and he's essentially wearing something different. Threw the plastic bag in the trash, walked over to a hotel room, and he's like, that was it. There were no sirens. No one came looking for him. It just kind of ended. And he had $1,500 that he didn't have before. So he lived on that for a short while. And then the second time he robbed a bank, he was much less careful. And he didn't have a change of clothes. And he had a bicycle outside the bank. And
Oh, God.
yeah, so he walked out of the bank. And he's like, oh, everyone's looking at me. So he started running, like sprinting away from the bank. And then he realized that his bike was there and that it was going to have prints and they were going to suspect it. So he went back to get his bike. And a cop was like, yeah, the noob. And a cop was like, can I talk to you? So he started running from the cops. And so he's running from the cops.
It's over.
Here's what happened. He thought he was like a highway. And he planned it so that as he crossed the highway, a car from behind him would, he knew the distance that the cop was from him. And he's like, if I run across this highway, then the cop will have to slow down because the car that I will run right in front of will hit the cop, so the cop will have to take it. He didn't count on the car slowing down when someone crossed the street, so the cop went right up behind him. And I guess he ran into another car that also slowed down, and he hit the back of a van. Like, he physically ran into it and fell to the ground, and he was, like, semi-conscious as the cop called him and locked him up. And anyway, so his run escape was a failure, and he went to prison for it.
So, yeah, that kind of reminds me. There was this one robbery on the news. He brought a note to the teller to give money, whatever and then the teller said, "Oh, that paper, I don't know, we don't do that here. Go across the street to the other bank," or some nonsense like that. And he actually believed the teller, the bank robber. So he went across the street, and as he did, of course, they called 911. That was it. That's got to be probably the biggest new move for a robber ever.
He's obviously a Modern Warfare 2 player.
Yeah.
Hey, so I get a lot of these
We
questions.
talk about bank robbers. We should talk about the big one.
Oh, go ahead. What do you got?
What's that?
The guys in California that robbed the bank with Kevlar and the drum mag AK-47s.
Those were some badasses.
The old ones, right? And it was in L.A., right? It changed the way FBI responds to that stuff.
Yeah.
And didn't it change the whole gun code out there because the cops didn't have anything to compare to Kevlar. They had to run down and get M16s with full metal jackets.
Yeah, they went to the gun shop, and it turns out they had a lot of hits on those guys, like even penetrating hits. But the guns
they were high on meth. Weren't they high on like meth and shit?
Yeah, they were high on something. And guns aren't the death beams that a lot of people think they are. Like if you could think about the damage you get from a bullet being similar to the damage you get from an ice pick, you'd realize, like, wow, there's a lot of places on me that I could probably take an ice pick and just sort of move on. Like, almost all your arms and legs, unless it hits that key artery. Whatever. It's not good, but ice pick's not going to kill you.
Sap a little bit of strength out, but don't take much to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Those guys were they had taken a lot of muscle relaxers. I remember that, so they were like perfectly calm throughout the whole thing, because they're like doped up. And that was one hell of a shootout. Like you see the footage of it, and like they'll be looking to their left. Yeah, they'll be looking to their left, and some cop will shoot at them from their right, and they just calmly turn to the right and like spray 30 rounds at him.
Mm-hmm. And
my question is, how did they not kill anybody? They injured 16 cops. They couldn't get no death shots.
I don't know. They had none?
They had 0 death shots on the cops. They all died themselves, but all the cops were injured and they all recovered.
Yeah, you got to go for the headshot, man. Fucking noobs.
They got bad aim.
Well, you're doped up on muscle relaxers. That kind of solves a little bit.
We'll cut him some slack on that.
Your hands might shake a little bit. But I'm just surprised they didn't kill nobody. That old Russian round. That's a pretty powerful round.
Not a death ray, though. So, I have this question. I've been wanting to bring it up. I think I've had it in my list of potential questions. And normally this one would go to Kyle, but since we have Smoove here, how do you go about kissing a girl for the first time?
You just got to be real smooth. You got to pull her close.
You gotta have a very Manilow voice.
You got to pretend like you're going to whisper in the ear. You got to kind of hint at the clothes, and you just kind of lean in when she's not expecting it.
You ever thought about singing for some Motown?
Yeah, I just want to hear you sing. That's all I want. I want to hear you sing like
I can't sing. Definitely can't sing. It's all
no, just do it like Barry Manilow. Just do it like Barry Manilow.
Never.
What's up, baby? Barry Manilow don't sing. He just talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk about tattoos. Do you like it when women have tattoos? Is that a turn
Depends
on?
Where they are. And what? It depends where they are and what they are.
Wait, so I like this topic, but Kyle, how do you kiss a girl for the first time? And Wings, you're next.
I don't know. You usually you're like hanging out on a couch or something like that, and you just make eye contact, and you can just tell the way she looks at you that she's down for it. You don't want to like force someone to kiss you, unlike some people might want to think. But you can tell by the way she looks at you that she's down for it or not, and hopefully like if you've spent enough money on this chick and you're on an actual date, like she doesn't mind actually kissing you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, see, I've only kissed 3 different girls so far, and I can tell you how each went down.
Pick a highlight. We'll see if we want to hear the other 2.
Yeah. Well, that's not a highlight. Well, my first kiss, I basically took her to the movies. I think we went and seen. What did we go and see? Might have been The Notebook. It was some girly movie. And I live in the South, so after you go to the movies and stuff, you pretty much ride the back roads. That's what you do. That's a form of entertainment. We just rode around and talked and all this, and body language is key there. You could tell if she likes you or not. And if you notice, like her hands, like she's rubbing her pants, or that's 2 keys. She might be scared of you.
She's reaching for a weapon. She's looking for that knife.
She's got an LCP in the purse.
But you gotta look at her eyes with it. If she's like rubbing her pants and you see her eyes and she kind of keeps drifting off over looking at you, that means she's pretty much down. She likes you.
Or she's drunk.
Well, we didn't drink nothing. I don't drink myself. Yeah, but that's how that goes down. And the other 2 times they kissed me.
Nice.
Wow.
So I kissed a lot of girls. I don't know how to put it better than I might rival Kyle on this thing. I might even have the title. I think I told you guys about at least one summer. We'd get a whole new batch of women every week in Ocean City. I swear. I would make moves. If it didn't work, screw this. I can get another girl by the end of the night. There are women walking up and down this boardwalk looking for guys. If you don't want to kiss me, I'm 15 minutes away from a new one. And
I like the attitude.
Woody walk up to the boy and what's up? Let's suck face, baby. No, all right, bye.
I take them. I'm going to age myself. In that particular summer, I take them. We'd watch Pretty Woman and go onto the boardwalk and make out. That was my thing.
How many times did you watch Pretty Woman, Woody?
I don't know. Like, at least it had to be 2 dozen if it was once. It was a lot. And, yeah, and then, kiss the girl. I don't think I got any sex that summer, so I don't mean to, act like I was a total player that really got the full package. But,
how many hand jobs did you get?
Oh, stop. Jesus Christ.
I'm married, man.
Children.
But, as far as, making out with girls, I was the freaking Bobby Fischer of making out with girls, to steal Kyle's line. And, yeah, so the move was pretty much, be charming for a little while, move in for the kiss, and that was that. So hand on hip, that was kind of my start.
The initiative.
If she's willing to sit while you by yourself, she's most likely not going to throw the finger up in your face or the hand. Like, ooh.
Right. Yeah. And what was I going to say? So I kind of
make sure you don't have mono.
Oh, the other thing was I didn't really mind being rejected. And that's advice I think I'd give to people even who don't have a whole new batch of disposable women every week coming to them. You know what? You get rejected. That happens. It's okay. Has your friends ever liked a girl and not got her? Probably. Do you think less of them for it? No. That's just how this goes.
Do you care? No.
Yeah. But you think less of when they settle for something that isn't up there.
Oh, let's talk about that.
And then boom, they have a kid, and now they're embarrassed because a lot of people, they try to act like, oh, I'm only messing with doms, and then you see them with a baby with a
Let's talk about that.
Stop.
I'm a womanizer myself. When I go out with a girl, I want her to look decent. I want her to look clean. I want her teeth to be in her mouth.
That's not what womanizer means, man.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not at all.
I'm just saying, I can't lower my standards. I mean, I either want a good woman or no woman. There's no in between. There is no dropping down.
So it's not like pizza, any pizza's good pizza?
Yeah, it's not. No, you gotta meet these standards or no. But like I used to work with a bunch of guys. We used to work at a steel mill, and one guy in particular, I ain't gonna say his name. His first name was Tryhard. I ain't gonna give you anything more than that. And he was a big guy. He was like 6'6", 245, 250. He was a boxer when he was young and all. And
yeah,
I thought he'd have
anonymous. There's lots of 6'6" Tryhards around.
Yeah, but I thought he'd have like a stunting wife.
Mm-hmm.
I get to his house. He invites me over to play some Mortal Kombat, and his wife is like, "Whoa, I'm a big guy," and she. You ever see the guy at the movie theater that when you're with your fat friend and he points out first? That was this man's wife.
So I have a magic 8-ball here. Just a second. Will Wings get his ass kicked? Definitely.
Nice. I was like, oh man, how can you lower your standards like that? He's like, at least I'm getting pussy. My hand works fine.
Wow.
I knew that would come up. So to speak.
Speaking of that, that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to make sure that when it's time to get married, whoever I marry in 5 years and 10 years is still going to be, it.
Presentable?
A lot of times, yeah, I see like, let's say, I don't know, maybe at work or something, you see your coworkers, they're kind of old, they have kids my age, and they're still looking like I would feel so lucky if, I'm that age, I'm like 40, 50, and my wife is still looking like that. Like, how do you do that? How do you see the genes before they happen?
I think I talked about this with my cousin the other day. I think it's a certain body type that you want to go for in a woman. To if you're going for longevity and a woman who's going to be looking good, when she's 45. I don't think you want that that thick chick that's got the big boobs and the big butt. Because all that's just going south. I think you want the slim chick who's 5'7", 110 pounds maybe, and she's athletic and she's got smaller boobs and she just keeps herself in shape and eats healthy. You don't want that
I know
mamacita
exactly
that's gonna fall apart in 10 years.
Yeah, so
I think that also you need to kind of look at, you have to wait until a certain age, because when they start getting into their 20s and mid-20s, that's when you can kind of see what, what's going to happen to their body.
Yeah, they're all hot when they're 15.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I need to
like,
just say
no.
So,
All right, well, you got to put the explicit tag on this one.
the explicit tag is on everyone now. It's just freaking assume it. Oh, by the way, I got the podcast back on iTunes today.
Yeah.
But so I have 3 things to look for. One is look at her mom, right? That's going to be part of it. Another, like Kyle pulled out, is her body type. You're going to do better with tall women than with short ones. And a tall woman, even if she puts on 10 pounds, works nice. A short woman, when she puts on 10 pounds, it's going to show much easier. And the other thing is look at her diet. So people can have a bad diet. Girls can live on potato chips and be hotties when they're 16. But if you see some potato chip munching woman at 40, she's not going to look like she's 16. Yeah. So look at her diet.
You guys forget about the personality altogether. That's why the divorce rate.
I'm not forgetting about that.
We
don't care about that.
Yeah. My wife hasn't gained. My wife's the same weight now that she was in college.
Yeah.
Not 1 pound.
How tall is your wife?
5'7".
5'7"?
Hey.
Yeah, man.
Because I didn't rule that out though. I'm just saying.
Well, I just described Woody's
that
wife
with
with my ideal.
Yeah, you pretty much did.
Solution.
I was thinking that. Yeah, and I'm getting
all right.
the podcast as well.
North Carolina, huh?
I'll come out there and check it out.
She's in my World at War video. We went to the zoo, and my wife and 2 kids. We saw like baby buffalo in the field, and I have they all pretend to shoot and go boom headshot, and then it pans to baby buffalo who I describe as Onslaught. So,
I love that. I love how you put in caption under it, baby buffalo. You didn't know what it was looking like. It's like Sergeant McCabbage, Army Ranger.
So, Winks, you watch a lot of movies, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
You might know. You might have seen this movie. Have you seen the movie Mr. Brooks?
Yes.
Is that it? That's the title, Mr. Brooks? No.
Yeah, it's called Mr. Brooks. It's about
Kevin
a serial
Costner.
killer. That was a good one right there.
That was a fucking awesome movie. The ending scared the
I'm
shit out of
promoting
me.
right now. That's a good. If you haven't seen that,
Is it new?
look it up.
About 2 or
It's
3
like
years.
2006. 2006 is. It's pretty good.
Dude, the end of that movie
It's some
is great.
real cold-blooded killing, serial killing. It's like you can see who he's talking. Like he's talking to himself, but it's like a person in his head talking back with. It's like the devil on your shoulder, and then so it's. You got to check that out.
Yeah, I do, but they kind of took down my movie site.
Oh, Stage View got taken down?
No. I watched Movie Links. It was like they'd had every movie that you pretty much wanted. You could type a movie in, they had it. They'd show you where it was on the internet. So you could watch it. And they all got shut down. And the ones that they did put back up don't let you link movies anymore. I'm pretty sure somewhere down the road somebody's going to link movies again because you can't kill off that kind of thing. I don't care how many courts and piracy system is. Somebody's always going to do it because the money's too good.
Yeah, just go to Stage View.
Yeah.
Have you ever
It's
had
just like
that?
prohibition. You can't ever get rid of alcohol because the money's too good. Cigarettes, never get rid of them. Money's too good. Cocaine, money's too good.
Yeah.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I'm just saying, you're not going to win that war.
Have you ever had that dream where the police are knocking on your door and they're coming because you downloaded some, I don't know, software or movies or something, and they're coming to take you to prison for the rest of your life for pirating?
No.
You downloaded some music or
You
something.
know why? I would just take my tower and throw it against the wall.
Oh,
Some
be
people
so-
say they'll bring out like
Dude, I
a
just
big magnet, put it on their hard drive, destroy it.
I just imagine a situation where the cops, where Wings, like, one night he downloads, like, so many pirated movies, and the next day, like, a cop knocks on his door for, like, some casual reason, and Wings is in there, like, beating the shit out of his tower, like, I gotta get the hard drive. He's, like, just, like, hammering it with the butt of a gun.
right. He's like shooting his AK into it.
He goes to the door and, like, all sweating and shit, and the cop's like, are you alright? He's like,
The
yeah.
cop comes up.
Yeah.
Is this your dog?
Have you seen this dog? Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but they usually they come with papers.
Hey,
Like-
so
If you see the papers, you're going right to the computer. Like, hold on, I'm in the shower. You're gonna.
Like,
Where's
hold
my
on, let me unlock the door.
But you never know. Nowadays, they might be able to recover that hard drive.
I
Oh, they
saw an
never
episode
cover that.
of,
Just they can glue it back together.
Yeah, I saw an episode of Law and Order one time, and it was this. I don't remember if the guy was I think he might have been a child molester, and he had like a lot of kiddie porn on his computer. And when the cops came to like confiscate his tower, when you walked through his front door, there were 2 big electromagnets on either side of the door. So removing the tower from the house destroyed the computer. And I thought that was like one of the. I mean, granted, he's a evil child molester, but that's a great idea he had.
You've spoken with admiration for both Hitler and evil child molesters.
I was going to say people like the CSI shit. Well, CSI doesn't happen in Conway, South Carolina. You know,
We ain't got that here.
you get shot up. He'd be like, "Well, it kind of sucks for him. We'll fill out a piece of paper for you."
Yeah, the cops are like looking at your body. You've been shot 8 times. They're like, "What do you think happened, Bill?" They shot him.
That's the entire investigative crime scene right there.
Hey,
Who do you think it was? Hard to say.
I heard you going up there with old Leonard's daughter. That old fiance might not took a liking to that too much.
Oh God, where's this going?
So I had a sub who wrote me, and he had a pretty well thought out theory that Captain Price was going to be in Black Ops. And he looked at one of the trailers, and someone wore his world famous hat. And I think the guy was like a Black Ops, like isn't SAS kind of a Black Ops for England?
It's their,
Go ahead.
the SAS is more of like Her Majesty's Special Air Service or something like that. It's like paratroopers almost.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was. But anyway, so one of the characters in the trailer had his trademark hat, and he had some other clues in there. But they think that Price might be coming over to the Tryhard games. And if you guys know, I gave some intel on Black Ops a couple podcasts ago. It was the one with Only Use Me Blade, and it was later all confirmed to be true. 100% hit rate on that. This is not one of those. This is just more of a user-generated thing. But it looks like Captain Price might be in Black Ops. That'd be kind of cool. So, do you guys play
what do you think they should
Yeah,
replace
I
the
do.
nuke with? Instead of, because they're going to take it out. So let's say if you are able to get 25 kills,
So
the kill streak's not building to each other.
the highest kill streak now is 15, just so you know, right? That was confirmed.
Yep.
It could change, but that's what it was. And
But let's say if they had a 25, what do you think it should be if it's not going to be a nuke?
I think 15 is harder than 25 since kill streaks don't build, but that's aside from the point. What would be a good final kill streak?
If kill streaks don't build, they should keep the nuke.
They should.
Really?
But I
Make
don't know.
it
A lot of
30.
people say,
No,
well,
I don't like-
be camping even harder now.
Just make it make it 30, and free for only goes up to 25 kills.
Yeah, and I don't like running
That's
the
a
nuke.
great idea.
What-
That's a great idea.
Oh yeah. I just processed that a little slower than Kyle did. So you couldn't get one in free for all.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm almost tempted to have a freaking boosting mode. Bring back cage match.
Just
Send
name
the
it
boosters in there.
Name Booster Arena. Just don't even disguise the name.
That would be great. Make a game type called Boosters. And you know what would be fun? To go in there and crash the party. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I like Booster Arena. Just have a Booster Arena.
Think about this.
Get out of
This
my
is
game.
awesome. You make a game type called Booster Arena, and all the boosters go there, and then you go and fuck with what they want to do.
Yeah,
Ooh.
payback's a bitch.
Yeah. You know who
The
used to do that?
guy's like, you're not supposed to kill. This is for boosting. Exactly, bitch. Remember Modern Warfare 2? Boom, headshot. Like, no.
Schemer used to do
Right.
that. So, do you guys remember Beyond? And he played with this guy named Schemer a whole lot. And he would go into 1v1s, get his 10 headshots, and then when it came to you get 9 or 10, whatever the cap was. And then when it was time to let the other guy get his headshots, he'd just play for real. Like that was when it was on. And he felt like he was kind of the Sandy Ravage of COD 4 in that he would punish boosters.
Why are people so obsessed with boosting anyway? What's
Because
the big
small
deal?
camo gives you extra damage.
Yeah, I can kind of get it for the extensions. Like, for example, if you went into high rise and shot through the glass, it's boosting. It takes it's a while to get that afterwards. Or if you're shooting claymores or whatever, then I can see people wanting. Sit rep pro is a pain to get naturally, but for camos, they don't have much appeal to me. If it's a gun I use a lot, I'll get it anyway, just sort of over time.
Yeah. Oh, can we bring? Do you guys feel like discussing this the whole thing with Bobby, Moody Swede?
Oh,
I was about to, but I didn't want to.
I didn't want to call him out, but
I feel the opposite way. Like I have no. All right, here's the thing. Like, I got my SIP row in a challenge lobby. I don't care. Pressed a button and I got all of my shit.
Me too.
Well, I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah, so I draw a pretty big distinction between, and I know some people are going to hate this, but there's boosting that like ruins the game for other people, and there's boosting for people who just don't like the RPG, the role-playing game aspect of Modern Warfare 2. And what they did, going into the corners and shooting claymores, it didn't bother anyone. The wrong person didn't win that game because they were back there shooting claymores. It's a harmless activity that you sort of do by yourself or do with a friend, and that's it. But the reason I wasn't going to bring it up wasn't because I didn't want to call them out. It was because now more people know about it than they did before. But anyway, to me, no big deal. It boosted now nuke boosting in like a free for all when the wrong guy gets the win.
Completely different.
Totally different. Yeah, and I've been in domination games where I've seen that too, where guys boost for it. Now all of a sudden we're all getting wrecked by a chopper gunner because this guy quickly got up to a Harrier chopper gunner, and it's like, man, we're out playing these kids, and now this guy's doing this, and it's not the same. It's a big difference between wrecking a team and taking a win you didn't deserve and shooting claymores in the corner.
I like how the boosters never want to get the last kill while they're boosting. They always go to look for the last kill. You never notice that? There'll be like 29 kills in a free for all, and then they'll go look for the last kill to make it look like they got it legit.
Yeah, I don't run into boosters all that often.
You don't play free for all that often.
I don't play it all that often. Yeah, I have.
But but boosters have bodyguards. That's hilarious when boosters have bodyguards.
Well, I watched Sandy's live stream tonight, and when he joins a game in progress, he flips through spectator mode to find boosters and where they are, and then he
that's
goes
what I was going to say.
them. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The only downside, it was on Wasteland, and traveling on Wasteland is dangerous. He took a bunch of deaths on his way to ruin their boosting session.
Yeah, I did that, I guess yesterday. Like, I was in a free-for-all, and both these guys' clan tag was porn. And I was like, yeah, that's real smart. Now I know you're boosting. And they both got their title insertions in a corner on downpour, and they're just back there, click, 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 shh, click, 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 shh, back there popping each other in the head. I put on my Sandy Ravage class, which is like C4, RPGs, sit rev, cold-blooded, like marathon, UMP. Like, you got no chance. No chance. That's the anti-booster class all the way.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Like, if I were to do it, and I don't run into boosters much, I don't think I'd use an explosive like they do. Because even though that's kind of fun, you don't get the free tack insert kill.
That is true.
True. I'll just wait on a tactical insertion. Kill him, wait.
Yeah. Kyle has a good plan for that. Kyle, what do you do if you know someone's waiting on your tack insert?
Okay, here's what you do, because I use tactical insertion when I'm playing demolition against a decent team, or on one of the maps like Estate or what's the other one that's really hard, or Afghan, which is really hard to get the plant. So I'll use my tactical insertion, near the
Riot
bomb.
shield, is that what you're gonna do?
Riot shield. They kill you as you're planning it, and you know they're camping. Switch to that riot shield, and they are fucked.
Yeah,
I've done that before.
They think you're going to respawn, and they're going to be like, aha! But it's the other way around. Spawn, and they're like, holy shit, he's a turtle.
Oh, my God.
Skid Row, I did that.
Yeah.
I was by C. I think, C. And I was downstairs where you go up the stairs into that room. And I put my tactical insertion right by the stairs, and someone was like, uh-oh, look at that. They killed me right as I placed it down. So then I just switched to my riot shield, and he was like, what happened? And I just bashed him to death. It was hilarious.
If you're next to a riot shield, it's hard to stay alive. I mean, if you're in a one-on-one situation and you're in like bad breath distance from a riot shield,
sometimes it's kind of cheap, right? Doesn't it feel kind of cheap and like, oh, here comes a Riot Shield guy? Because sometimes you can't get around and knife them or I don't know.
It never works for me. I always get
And I
knifed.
actually got trapped by a Riot Shield recently. And I didn't think that was popular, but a lot of people were saying that happened to them in Search and Destroy. Getting trapped in a corner by a Riot Shield.
Well, speaking of Riot Shield, you also see my buddy Chainsaw Arm.
I've seen him. You played with him on Strike, right?
Yeah, I play with him regularly now. Every time I can get him on.
Does he always run Riot Shields?
Yes.
His whole kit is Riot Shield.
He's Mr. Riot Shield, huh? He's got skills, man. That guy was. You were like, oh no, worst case scenario. You were in the one spawn by Strike. It's near Bravo, but in the corner, like there's a fountain there, a rectangular fountain, and you're like, worst case scenario, trapped in the corner with a Riot Shield, and you didn't make it out alive.
That kid's good.
Yeah, he looked good.
He doesn't even use a backup. He uses Stinger as his backup.
Really?
Yeah. He don't let air support or nothing. He just shuts the enemy team down with the spawn points. He doesn't go in spawns. He isn't like a spawn rusher. He'll sit back and just wait for him to like leak out and ambush them. But like he'll capture all. It's KD's like 1.4.
Really? With a Riot Shield?
Yeah, and
a similar KD, if you call similar as 0.4, because they have something in common.
But he'll capture all the points and help you spawn trap them, and then he will never let them get air support because he runs stingers all day.
Nice. I had another sub question. Do 1v1s mean anything?
No, they don't.
I hate it when people are saying, let's 1v1 on Rust.
Well, it's because it puts you in situations you wouldn't normally be in. It makes you do things you wouldn't normally do. Like you play in a 1v1, you're in a different mindset than when you're playing a regular game. When you play a regular game, you don't know when engagement is going to happen. You just stumble upon an engagement. A 1v1, the person that you're against is looking for you, and you're looking for that person on the map. But you're at a higher alert sense, and you have gunfights you wouldn't normally have. Like for example, on Rust, I wouldn't be looking through the Rust tower for somebody if I was playing Rust on normal. I'd be looking straight up or straight to my left, trying to get somebody to catch a corner because they'll do that. 1v1, you won't.
Yep, I have a similar thought. You know, does 1v1 mean anything? Well, yeah, it means something. I mean, there's a certain skill to stalking a guy, getting the engagement on your terms, and getting on target fast, which is what it takes to win in 1v1. But to me, it's a lot like saying, does 1v1 in basketball mean anything? Yeah, it counts for something, right? It means you can shoot. It means you can handle the ball. But in full basketball, and I'm not a basketball player really, but in full basketball, there's more to it, right? It's complicated to track everybody on the court and know where they are and what the lanes of passing are. And, there's a team game going on. And if you're a 1v1 star, it doesn't mean that you're a basketball star. It means you've got some of the skills that a basketball star would have, but it's not the whole package.
I got a good analogy there. John Stockton can't beat Michael Jordan 1v1, but does that make John Stockton a bad player?
Right. Yeah, there's a whole lot going on, and hockey's a sport I play. If I can beat you, well, it's not really a 1v1 equivalent in hockey, but the basketball thing worked really well. Some of the talents that work in a team game also work in a 1v1, but being a 1v1 star doesn't make you a complete player. There's a lot missing.
And since we're
look at envious
basketball, we have to talk about what just happened today.
Yeah. So LeBron, is he playing for the Edmonton Oilers now? Where do you
Ain't that a hockey team?
Oh, the Dolphins, right? Does he play for the Dolphins now? I heard he went to Miami.
Plays for the Miami Heat with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh.
That's going to be the Eastern Conference champion for the next 5 years.
That's got to be like the biggest free agent signings ever.
It is.
It's crazy. A shocker.
I don't know nothing about that, but I know my buddy does. He loves the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm about to laugh at his face.
So, Chris, you're a basketball guy, right? Didn't you say you played that?
Yeah. Yep.
How's that work? They've only got one ball. Like, there have been other teams that had more than one star, and it didn't always work out like you thought it might.
We talking about the Lakers? The Lakers own forever.
Yeah, well, they only have one Kobe though. Like there's Kobe and then
They had Kobe and Shaq, and they were winning championships.
Okay.
I think it'll work because they played together on Team USA, world champions, and they were sharing the ball easily. They're unselfish players. They don't really care that much about. I know, even though people say LeBron wants to be the man, Wade wants to be the man, but I don't really think it's going to come down to that. I think they'll be unselfish. They'll get it done. They'll pass. They're going to be assisting each other all over the place. They're going to have a lot of fun. So I don't really see anything. I see it working out for them.
Be like Pippen and Jordan.
I was about to say,
One more.
who do you think's a better team? The Bulls back when they were winning, 80-something games a year, or this team in Miami right
They
now?
only play 82.
Yeah.
Well, right now, the Miami Heat, they only have 3 players. So they need to get at least 9 more with minimum contracts. That's going to be tough.
Wait,
Cause
do you mean they literally have 3 players?
they actually have, well, I think they have 4 players or 4 or 5 that are on the roster right now.
I thought you meant
But
they only have
because-
3 good players. You mean
Actually, yes, right now. They only have 3 good players: LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. And the way that the salaries work and the cap, they basically are spending about 90% of the cap space on these 3 players. So they have to now squeeze the rest of whatever they have to get 9 more players onto their team.
So they do
That's
Atlanta
gonna be
Braves.
a process.
does that work,
Atlanta
Chris?
Braves.
That it might work, it might not work
See,
because
basketball
it
only
depends.
plays 5. So I'm sorry to cut. I ask you a question and don't let you answer. But sorry about that. But in hockey, usually a good 16, 18, 20 people play nightly. Some guys
Yeah.
get more ice time than others, but everybody plays. There's a lot of guys on the team, and they all matter. In basketball, I'm thinking about college ball. Sometimes they run 5, 6 guys, and that's it.
Yeah, in the NBA, it's usually about a 7 to 8 man rotation. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting to see what they can actually do with the money that they have left over.
If you got those 3 players playing 42 minutes, you've already won. It's gonna,
Really?
It's going to be
I'm not even
exhausting
exaggerating.
to do that
Like
for
those
them.
3 players, and then Wings and me, we'd get beat.
Yeah. Not against the Clippers. I would be willing to bet that
I'm a
those
very
3 players
unselfish
plus
basketball
Wings
player.
could beat the Clippers.
Yeah, I'm unselfish too. You guys can do all
I
of
would
it.
pass the ball to them every time I got it.
Dude, I'll do more than that. I'll get a lawn chair.
No,
and
but
I'll
see,
wouldn't
they're
even
going to
dribble.
need you to hit
I
some
wouldn't
shots.
even dribble. I would
'cause
just run the court for you.
you guys run.
They're going to need you to shoot some shots, though, because they need space to operate. So that's the thing. They have to get players that can come in, shoot the shots, and also defend. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be
How
exciting.
about I just use my weight to bump into people and clear a lane?
You can't do that because that's a foul. You'll be thrown out the game.
I see people in the NBA be hitting them with their ass, bumping them back.
Yeah, Shaq is always walking backwards into people.
Yep, he is.
Kobe be
And all that muscle, all that body mass.
Yeah, that's how he plays.
I'll be the guy that throws the ball in at half court. When there's nobody to steal the ball from, I just throw it at them. I got 0 basketball skill. My basketball skill is non-existent.
Yeah, I've played.
And don't you
Yeah,
hate
dude.
sports?
Oh, I hate-
but you hate well, actually, you do hate, right? You hate sports.
I'm a baseball fan. Well, I don't watch baseball, but I used to play it when I was little. If I had to go to a sport, it'd be baseball.
Yeah. But I kind of have to agree with you on when you say that people get depressed when their team loses and it ruins their life.
No, I posted a video of somebody else. That wasn't me.
All right.
So you don't have that opinion. That was somebody else.
I got an opinion that the whole sporting nation is overblown than what it is. What it is a money making market, and people get depressed that their favorite team loses. For example, my buddy Doug, which I mentioned, LeBron James got moved from the Cavaliers. LeBron James, all the Cavaliers had, and he's going to be devastated about this because his favorite team on football is the Browns, and they suck too.
Chris, you can agree with that? Is LeBron the only team? I mean, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They had more than LeBron, right?
They had more than LeBron, but without LeBron,
They would.
I don't really see what they can
They're a
do.
30-win team.
It's going to be tough without LeBron because the players on that team, they basically need open shots to be successful. and to be
LeBron was
effective.
45, maybe 50% of their score every night.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating when I say I think they're a 30-win team without LeBron.
They basically just
All the
sold.
Cleveland fans, even my homeboy Luke is going to be, he's devastated right now. He's going to be like, LeBron left. Because he had faith. He thought that he was coming back.
They just sold 30 points a night. That's what they did.
Is it time for Cool Story, bro?
Yeah, it is.
All right,
I
Chris.
think
But
So-
what you can do is you can go back on like a almanac and look at all the Cavaliers games and just subtract 30 points. If they won that game. If they lost that game. That's how it's going to end up.
he's the MVP of the team, definitely.
So, Chris, every week I give the guest host a couple topics to choose from, and you tell me which Cool Story bro of the week I tell. So, Woody saves 130 lives. Woody's adventure in poverty. Saved baby rabbits. Regaining the use of my hand, and my parents' sex life. Do you need to hear it again?
The fourth one, reusing your.
Really? You picked
I think
reusing
that's probably
my
the
hand?
most. Or actually, let me see.
Here it is. Woody saves 130 lives. Woody's adventure in poverty. Saving baby rabbits. Regaining the use of my hand, or my parents' sex life.
I don't know. Let's see. I need some help. What do y'all want to hear? for Cool
Nothing about
Stories?
his nuts.
There are no testicular topics tonight.
That's what was it cool, Woody.
I don't know. Maybe we could just skip Cool Story.
No, what is this? Too
Has
much
that ever
poverty?
happened?
Poverty.
Has it
Poverty.
ever skipped?
Woody's adventure
All
in
right,
poverty?
We'll do poverty. Wings wants to do poverty. That's what we'll do.
I want to hear mayonnaise sandwiches.
Yeah, so let's see. At the time, I made about $14,000 a year, which today would probably be equivalent to, I don't know, this was, say, 93. What would that be equivalent to now? 24?
Yeah.
And it was my first apartment. So I moved into these low-income apartments. It was like, I guess you could call them a projects. And I didn't really know much about Earth at the point. And I walked into the apartment, and it was beautiful, right? I mean, it had brand new carpets, and the walls were freshly painted like you would for a new tenant. And the rent was $390 a month, which was just pretty freaking cheap. And I'm like, hey, this is a great, super deal. You know, you get an apartment, it's only $390 a month. I'm working during the day and going to school at night. And that was the deal. So I moved into the apartment, and I split the rent with a roommate so that I could help afford it, and I paid for my own tuition at the time. And that's when the neighbors kicked up. It turns out, and this is good advice for you guys that have never had an apartment before, when you pay rent, half of what you're getting in that rent is not the apartment, but the exclusion of certain neighbors. So, you know, even if the place is freaking gorgeous and everybody's paying $300 a month, I trust you, that is a rough neighborhood. You don't want to be there. And the guy that lived below me, he was like, I don't know, 6'2", 275, and I was like 6 foot and like a real muscular 180. And he was a wife beater, and you would hear him just like pounding on her. And he was a drug dealer too, but all his clients were really young. They were like 10 years old. And he would like beat his wife and throw these like, you know, pop parties or whatever for little kids downstairs all the time.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. So, you know, I would occasionally call the police. I'd occasionally knock on his door and have him turn the music down. And he used to yell at me all the time for walking too loudly. And yeah, and he plays music loud. And he'd bang on my door like real aggressively. And he'd be like, you know, dude, I can hear your footsteps. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll try and settle that. And this went on all the time. And at one point, I think he was drinking, and he hammers on the door extra hard. And he's like, you know, dude, you better fucking stop walking so loud. And I'm like, you are crazy. I'm up here walking quietly, trying not to bug you, and you're still fussing at me? I'm like, you're going to have to get used to this. You live on a first-floor apartment. You can hear the people walk upstairs. And he started, I forget exactly what he said, but it was something to the tone of he was going to take care of it. And that's just when I contacted him, and I'm like, what are you going to do? Now's the time. Let's do this. And he just took 2 steps backwards and walked into his own apartment. And that was the end of that. So I felt like a big man, stared him down. And eventually the police hauled him away for beating on his wife, and he was gone.
Ooh.
Yep.
See, I would have did that wholly wrong. As soon as he went aggressive to the door, I would have done my normal door routine.
The me of today would have done the same thing. You think you could tell it was him knocking, right? Because he didn't knock with his knuckles. He knocked with like the palm of his, what is that called? Like a hammer fist?
Yeah.
And, so you knew it was going to be him. And I'd have answered the door armed today, maybe with the shotgun right in his face. Like,
yeah, that's me.
Open the door. Yeah. It'd be bom, bom, boom.
No, I wouldn't have shot him.
Trigger, but
I wouldn't have shot him. I would have loaded it up with some ice cream salt.
Oh, God.
And I would have threatened the shit out of him with it.
Yeah. I might have opened the door, taken 2 steps back, because the way that the door led directly to stairs, which led to the second floor apartment. And, maybe open the door, take 2 steps back, and have him staring at the barrel of a shotgun. And, all right, let's have this conversation. But,
my footsteps too heavy for you now, bitch.
Yeah, so, I think I could have beat this guy. I was in really good shape. Maybe in my promo for this video, I'll put up a picture.
You probably could have
of
beat him, Woody. I mean,
dude, I worked out.
His sparring partner was probably 190 pounds soaking wet, 5'3".
This guy was. This was in the fall, so I had just come off working out. I used to work out like 4 or 6 hours a day when I was younger, and I was in shape. I was in fighting shape. People forget how exhausting fighting is, but what I've learned since then is that even if you're a good fighter, especially in North Carolina, where so many people are armed, and there are a lot of people here, even if they're not carrying guns, people like if you need a box, like say you have a box and it's taped closed. Everybody whips out their frickin' knife, and they're like, "Here, use mine, use mine, use mine." I'm like, "Holy smokes!" People carry a knife like people from New Jersey carry keys. It's just sort of part of that's your pocket gear. Now, let's do this scenario. Let's say that you're a pretty good fighter. Think of yourself. Who's the toughest guy in your high school? Let's do this. Toughest guy in your high school. He's wearing a white T-shirt, and you have a black magic marker. Do you think that you can't get some black lines on that guy's chest? Do you think that guy would beat you up without you drawing black lines all over that white T-shirt? No, that's not how it's going to go down. So, and that's the knife analogy, right? The toughest guy in your high school, boy with a white T-shirt and your black magic marker. So
if Bruce Lee went up against a knife, he was most likely going to lose.
He might even win, but he won't like that fight. That's for sure.
He's going to the hospital afterwards with some stitches.
Exactly, with some serious stitches and lifetime scars. So. Every time somebody fights, like when they first realize that they're something of a fighter, right? Like you pick up a guitar on day one, you're not a guitar player, but 6 months in, 9 months in, you're better than everyone who doesn't know how to play guitar, and you think to yourself that you're some kind of badass, and then you move to the next stage and you realize, you know what? The world's a dangerous place, and just because I'm good at applying chokeholds or whatever you can do, doesn't mean that you're some sort of untouchable badass.
Yeah, you can't outsmart a 9mm bullet.
It's dangerous, yeah. And depending on where you live. Like if you're in New Jersey, most people aren't armed, but around here, and I live like outside Raleigh, which is it's not.
I'd go so far as say it's suicidal to rob somebody where I live at.
Okay, yeah. So So anyway, you're not as bad as you think you are, even if you can fight. There's knives out there. And that's my adventure in poverty. I lived I was really poor, didn't make any money, and I was paying for my own school, which made me, even broker than the other guys who paid $14,000. I probably would have been eligible for, there's like rent assistance in this place, but all the people who got rent assistance lied about their income. They said they made zero. So pretty much to get rent assistance in New Jersey, you have to claim that you don't make a penny. And
how the hell you get rent assistance making nothing?
I know. What is
you call that homelessness up in this place?
Yeah, I guess they either make money under the table or they just, I don't know how you lie. And this is a while ago, right? Like their systems might have been modernized since then. But all my neighbors who received rent assistance lied about their income, and then I paid full rent, even though it wasn't that much in low-income housing.
Shoot, you told that low income. My house payment ain't that much yet.
You don't pay $390?
No, I live in a double wide. It's $340 a month, 15 years.
A double wide is like $45K, right?
I pay $42,000 for this one. Yeah.
Huh? And that's what the mortgage works out to be.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, man, it was. Most people were paying less than $390.
But I did look out, and I was given land, so I don't have a land payment or nothing like that.
That helps. Yeah, I remember, like, I'd go grocery shopping. And so I'm a young guy in my first apartment. I hadn't gone grocery shopping before. And I would sit there and look at orange juice longingly. Like, oh, my God. You know, I would love to have orange juice, but I just don't have that kind of money. You know,
I've got money, but I don't have orange juice money.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never been that poor.
There were a lot of things that I just couldn't buy, like Triscuits, for example.
I'm at the point where I'm looking at, like a steak. I'm like, man, that'd be great. Give me the ground beef.
Yeah, and now, not that I'm rich, but there are some bills that we don't really pay attention to, like the grocery bill and the gas bill. We don't buy everything that we look at, but whatever. We tried economizing on groceries before.
If Xbox 720 drops tomorrow, we can get it.
Yeah, I get that. We tried economizing on groceries. My wife came home and it was like Hot Pockets and like junk food, and I'm like, where are the tomatoes? Where's the deli meats and things like that?
Hot Pockets, wow.
Yeah, they
where's the ramen noodles at? Where's
but like a lot of those processed things go on sale. But when we buy without looking at price tags, we get fresh fruit, we get nicer food. So groceries are just not something we economize on all that much.
Shoot, my grocery looks like this: light bread, sausage in a pack, ramen noodles. Hamburger Helper's the big meal around this house.
We buy our groceries on the internet, which is kind of cool. So this area is kind of
groceries on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's this great website, and it'll show you like what you bought last week and what your staples of the house are. And she just checks off, fills it up, and then she drives up to the front of the grocery store, so that says, "Hey, it's Jackie," and then they put it in the back of her car for her, and she drives away. It's nice.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about people that buy into those commercials that are selling something for $19.99, whatever it is? What do you think about those kind of people?
It depends.
It depends. What does it depend, though?
Some of that's some good stuff, all right? Let me just say this.
So, how many Delaware or Collector place do you have?
I have 10 Chia Pets, and I love them all.
I've never been so handsome since I got my Floby.
Do you have a pet rock cow?
Fuck no, man. I've never ordered that stuff offline. It's so stupid. I imagine like housewives sitting at home bored and like, ooh, it slices, dices, and rubs my back. Like, no.
See, kids, this works into the first kiss thing. This is where the first blowjob comes into life.
Oh, boy.
You come home and there's a Floby on your coffee table.
I'm so glad we marked this explicit.
You knew it was going to be explicit, huh?
Yeah. We just run it that way now. Hey, remember?
So what about?
Okay.
Let's say filling up your tank with $5 of gas. What do you think about that?
How about if people go less than $5?
Why would you even do that?
I'll see the motherfucker put $2 in gas and uses $3 to buy a hamburger.
All right. First of all, it depends on your car. If you're in an expedition and you do that, all right, that's retarded. If you're driving a Lotus, it's a different story. I mean, it just doesn't take very much gas. The gas tank's tiny on that thing. But sometimes I'm in a hurry, and I'll get $5 of gas. Just like jump in there, like put $5 in and get the hell out.
Yeah,
$5 buys
me too. It's pretty rare that I only put $5 in because I think of speed the other way. So I drive a small pickup truck at Tacoma, and it's like if I put $5 in this thing, I'm filling it up in 3 days. I'll be here again, so I just wait a few extra seconds and then put the.
Yeah, I gotta fill it up all the way.
Yeah, me too.
I can't put $5 and stuff.
Saves me time in the long run.
let me go and throw some schematics on you here. You know what $5 buys in a full-size Silverado? It buys you maybe 20 miles.
Yeah, that's 2 gallons. Yeah, about 20 miles. That's right. To the next gas station, you're set.
So you basically wasted the gas.
Wasted my time.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasted time and the gas.
Oh, yeah, if your goal is to go somewhere other than the gas station, you've wasted gas. You spent 50
All right,
cents
so
in
what
the parking
about,
lot.
let's say, what about people that they're too into their dogs? So, like, if their dog dies,
have you
now
met my mom? Oh my God!
Hold up. That's a whole different story. Like your mom, that dog's probably her only companion. She probably lives by herself, right?
Well, there's my dad.
I come from an area where we don't have dads.
I can't talk to her on the phone without the dog getting a word in. It's like, really? Is that dog on your chest? Yes. Like, oh, get rid of the dog. I didn't call for the dog. I'm calling to talk to you. You hear her skittering around. She has a specialized purse for her little, like, the dog weighs like 4 pounds. It's white and fluffy. And she loves it as much as me, I think, or maybe more, because it doesn't talk back. But, yeah, she's too into the dog. I'm not digging it.
It's crazy, right? Cause
I got a little dog. My little dog don't do shit. Don't even bark.
Your dog was cute. I think I saw it in the video.
Yeah.
What about
Like
a cat? What about a big cat? Would it beat up your dog? Is it that little?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dog's a punk, too. My dog would run from a cat. All my dog wants to do is lick you and, like, sleep at your feet. That's about all she does.
So last week I brought up this topic, and it was, what can a 13-year-old say? You know, because they'll make fun of him and tell him, you know, that his balls haven't dropped yet, right? You've heard this on Xbox before?
You know, I've always wondered, I had a manly voice at 13. Where's these kids going wrong at?
Oh, you're talking to him. I don't know. Not enough meat or something? I didn't have a manly voice at 13. It was horrible. And so here's the scenario that he outlines, and it sounds like one that could actually play out. They make fun of this for being a squeaker and tell him that his balls haven't dropped. At this point, he asks him if he'd like him to drop his balls in his mouth. All right. Nice comeback, right? Guy calls him a fag, and the squeaker says, I didn't want herpes anyway. The whole lobby will be laughing with the squeaker at this point. It's my best advice to 13-year-olds who dealing with Xbox Live.
Man, Xbox Live is bad for you, bad for your
Xbox Live.
Oh, speaking of my mother, the things I've learned about her since I got on Xbox Live would blow your mind. At least she's
There's more to her than a little dog, huh?
She slept with hundreds and thousands of people on Xbox Live. It was not standard stuff.
Not standard stuff.
Yeah. So
You know what's funny? Is like I get a lot of, everybody does. You get those hate comments and, you know, just people, whether they're being racist or they're just whatever it is. I actually don't delete those comments or block those people, because when they do that, they're basically just showing you and showing other people how much of a noob they actually are to leave a comment like that. So I actually leave them and let them do whatever they want to do.
See, that don't work like for me.
I know.
That motherfucker go, fat nerd. Like, other guys see that, but like rubbing their beard. Yeah. Stupid fat nerd. You know, like thumb them up and shit.
They kept asking the same question. They were like, who's better, you or Luke? Every day I would see this message. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
they must have
get a good game.
5th time. Actually, Luke, he did get a couple of good games on my channel. He got a couple of good ones.
I seen that one commentary you talk about, Luke, you got a nuke, didn't you? like it's a rare occurrence.
Yeah, my sensitivity to comments has changed a lot as I own this YouTube thing. It used to be that if someone like called me a camper or said I wasn't good at the game, it would hurt my feelings and I'd be thinking about it afterwards. Recently, some guy said he was going to fuck my wife while using his fingers to digitally rape both children in the ass at the same time. And I was like, block this guy. like I've gone from, oh no, someone thinks I'm a camper, to whatever.
See, if that was in that situation, first thing I would think was like, would she even be down for that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
I mean, like, what kind of vocational skills does this man have to convince her to do that with her children?
But yeah, he said he was gonna F her while fingering both children in the butt at the same time, and it was like, yeah, whatever.
People are getting creative.
When you're doing all these skills you're using right here, why don't you pull me a game that isn't 6 and 20?
Hey, I like that attitude right there. Yeah.
I can't stand those guys, dude. I was on me and
That's
Socrates were playing COD 4 a while ago, and I even got the game recorded. Me and him were on, what was that map? Wet Work. And me and him were the only people with over 5 kills on our team.
Was it S&D?
No, it was a domination.
Wow.
Oh, I see. For some
One was
reason,
like
when you
1
said
in
you had
27.
over 5, I thought you had like 6. And I'm like, damn, domination? They held you to 6 or so? But now I get it. Two of you did really well, and everyone else was just getting direct.
Yeah, 1 in 27, 2 and 18. How do these kids keep playing the game?
I powered through that phase too.
No. Let me go and address this. I think I've already did it once. There is a kid that has no use of his body and over 1 KD. How the hell do you don't have a 1 KD?
Wait, who is that kid?
The gas gun, right? Are you talking about him?
Yeah.
He plays on the PS3 with one hand.
No, he doesn't have no use for his fingers. He uses his wrists, and he like kind of moves his elbow back and forth to have his finger.
He has a disability. Is it? I hope that's not an offensive term. But is he a cerebral palsy? Do you remember what his struggle is?
He jumped on a trampoline and he broke his neck.
Okay.
Oh, that'll
And
do it.
he has no feeling below his breast down, and no feeling in his fingers whatsoever. He can't move them. He can move his hands and his arms.
Does he play two-handed?
Yeah, he plays two-handed. He uses his wrist to move the controller, and like he has to take his hand off the controller to shoot. He forces his
has
fingers
a
on the fire
one-handed-
button.
Yeah, I saw his nuke video.
He's got a nuke too.
Oh, man.
More than one.
He's got a nuke.
And there's another guy who actually literally plays with one hand. I think if you search for the one-handed gamer, you'd probably find him. And yeah, he plays with one hand.
I used to play with a guy on Battlefield Modern Combat that played with his feet because he didn't have arms. He wasn't the best player, but he did good for playing with his toes.
Mm-hmm. Better than I would.
I
with
wouldn't
my
be able to
nose.
do anything with my toes.
His name was Foot Fingers.
Oh my God! Have you ever
awesome.
seen the movie My Left Foot with Daniel Day-Lewis?
I've heard of it,
It's about a guy with cerebral palsy, and
but it's not a comedy, right?
no, it is not. No,
Yeah, it's not
it's a
funny.
true story. He only has use of his left foot. That's it, and he actually becomes a writer and a painter, and does very, very well. He types his biography on a typewriter, like an old school typewriter, with his left foot. Now, how bad would it suck to get a typo?
Just imagine how bad it would suck to get kicked in the nuts by his left foot.
Oh, yeah, that happens at one point in the movie. Because, the kids would, wheel him out in the street to play soccer, and he would just kind of lay there, and he was the one who would play goalie, and then he would kick the penalty kicks.
His
so
muscles
strong.
had to be extreme.
Yeah,
Imagine holding your foot up there typing.
Say what
Yeah,
you
it's his
will.
left leg.
I'd pwn that guy in Call of Duty.
Oh, my God.
I'm gonna lay it down there. There's not a left-footed player in the world who can hang with me.
I just want to know, I've asked this question before, how do you not have 1 KD? Because on PS3 I'm bad for this.
Really?
It's not a PS3 Xbox debate, but I got a lot of friend slots on PS3, and sometimes I'll just randomly add everybody. 40% of them will have under 1.
It's
Really?
actually pretty easy to have under 1. 'Cause a lot
How?
of
My
people
Riot
just,
Shield friend has more than 1.
A lot of people really don't know how to start off.
Yeah.
And they don't. Because you have to remember that. I
I
don't know.
think
It's
having
like
use of your fingers is a good start on some people.
Yep. This takes a second to explain, but there's 4 stages of learning. The first one is unconscious incompetent. And when you're unconscious incompetent, you don't even know how much you don't know yet, right? The whole thing's a mystery to you. The next stage is conscious incompetent, where you're starting to realize that there's a lot to this and that you have much to learn. Then you become conscious competent, and these are the guys who are good and they know that they're good, and that's just the way it goes. And then there's unconscious, the fourth stage, unconscious competent, and they don't even understand how other people can be bad. They just forget all the things that they've had to learn along the way. And that's where I'm thinking of this.
Now, where are the quickscopers at in this? Oh, man.
You know what? I wanted to bring up quickscopers. Oh, no, not quickscopers. No-scopers is what I wanted to talk about. I think that some guys don't try because it doesn't expose, their real talent level.
Yeah.
I think guys will run around and, gimp themselves, not to do the best they can, gimped, and some people do that.
Gives them an excuse.
I think a lot of guys rock the
And they call you a tryhard.
Exactly. Oh,
how is tryhard an insult?
I'm better than you.
I don't know.
I just don't choose to prove it. I would have gone 50-2 had I been using a weapon that I'm good with, or I would have gone 60-1 if I was trying. And
you know what I tell those guys? The FAMAS is unlocked at level 4, and you get a set class at level 1 with it.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of people in the game. Now, there's some who just want to have fun, right? Lately I've been doing that somewhat because I'm trying to get a Sandy Ravage game. And some of those games go fairly well. I've had...
Yeah, but Woody, you're trying, though, right? When you get that
trying.
Sandy Ravage game, you're not just trying to have fun. You're actually trying to do good while using odd.
Having fun.
And I've had games where a couple lucky breaks and I'd have had one. I go into a spawn, I work, I just get
that one guy turned around.
Not even just one guy. I'll get I'm into the spawn, I get a 5 or 7 kill streak, and then I go hide. I call in the Harrier and the Predator behind it. I get my AC 130, and now if I can get 2 of those in one game, it might be, look, I'm not Sandy Ravage, but maybe get a Sandy Ravage light that I can use. And I've gotten one of them in a game several times, but I haven't had the one I want to post yet. So it'll happen someday. And then when I do, I'm going to figure it out and show everyone what I did.
Yeah, but see, my thing to people playing to have fun is that's what public lobby's for. If you just want to goof around with your friends, that's why they have private match. You should not be anywhere near a ranked lobby.
I don't know. You'd have to have a group of friends to do that with. So there's not, putting on your best class and doing that all the time. But I think there's a lot of guys out there who don't try just so that they have that to lay back on.
Just like this goes back into the story about, womanizing.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm just saying, you keep falling back on how you getting pussy, but look at your wife.
It's like, have you ever seen that movie, The Princess Bride?
Yeah.
When the guy's like, inconceivable! He's like, this is what you keep saying. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Yeah, that movie's great. All right, so we're almost at the end of the podcast. I think it's over an hour, right?
Yeah, hour and a half almost.
It's like 2 hours. Let's see.
Not quite.
Yeah, so those of you who are still hanging around with us are officially fanboys.
No. That's another thing. Like, fanboys are put down, right?
I don't see it that way.
Me too. Like, I think it's okay to enjoy some guy's work and even to like that guy. Because I've been in that spot too. Like, before I had a channel, I would watch, like, XCal and Hutch and Beyond and, get a certain no homo, liking toward, I've gotten to know these guys. And in the case of Hutch especially, because he used to share a lot of his private life on his channel. Even though it was so one-sided, he's sharing it on YouTube and I'm watching it, I felt like I got to know him. And so I can understand how people do that.
You'd let him sleep on your couch, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think I would let him sleep on my couch. And not if I was in it. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a fold-out. All right.
But, so I can kind of get how someone, might start to get to know somebody through, hours of commentary and think that, they could be friends or something. So, when I see guys on the other side of that, it's like, yep, been there. Totally know what you're going through. Chris?
Yep.
I got one more thing. What's up with all the homosexual references in my comment section?
Maybe
When
it's
when
because
somebody
you have-
calls a fanboy, next thing they're going to say is you riding somebody's dick or you're a faggot. What is with this? Seriously, how has this become an insult?
You know why there's so many homos on your channel? It's because you have sex with men.
No, that can't be it.
He's like, no one knows about that.
I have a secret life I don't even know about, apparently. It's just like cocksucker. Why is cocksucker an insult? Tell me one bad thing about cocksucker.
Well, that's all we got for this week, so.
It's been Painkiller already, episode 12 with your boy, Chris Smoove.